Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Engineer Your Energy. I'm Caroline Milton, owner of Milton Coaching Collective. And each Thursday, I come live at noon Central Standard Time to chat a bit about how you can engineer your energy. What are the steps that you can take in your personal life, in your professional life, to really help manage your energy, increase your productivity, negate those feelings of tiredness, and beat burnout? Last week's discussion was great. I had a guest on last week, a former Rose grad as well, Austin Weatherford. We talked about the importance of culture at work. And if you missed last week's episode, make sure to go to my page and find that post so that you can get caught up, because it really was a fantastic conversation. And I've appreciated all of your comments and questions following that. This week, I'm here solo, as you can see, and going to be talking about the importance of routine. Now, as I was sitting down to determine what I would be talking about in this week's episode, I wanted to draw from a personal experience, something that I have been dealing with over the past 2 weeks, and that is the start of school. You see, my toddler started preschool, and because of that change, all of our morning routines have been disrupted. And last week felt very chaotic. This week has felt a little bit better because we're beginning to adjust our routine and understand our new normal. Now, this is not uncommon. There are lots of seasons, both true seasons or seasons of life, that as we transition through them, disrupt our routine. And as a result, we might feel like our tolerance to stress has gone down the drain. But there are things that we can do in order to prioritize that routine. And today I want to talk not only about how you can do that, but the importance behind keeping a routine. So I want to ask you up front, do you feel like your routine in the mornings at the start of your day is consistent, or is it inconsistent? Now, for my fellow parents who are watching this week's video, you're probably screaming at the screen, it is consistent because my kids demand it be consistent. But that's not necessarily true for everyone. Routines are important. And when we jump out of bed and we just fly by our seat of our pants throughout the day, that leads us to feeling destabilized. That leads us to feeling more chaotic and more stressful. You see, while our brains love new variety and spice, our bodies crave routine. It's a part of our circadian rhythm, in fact. Routines help anchor us in daily life. By having breakfast at the same time each morning, lunch at the same time each day, and dinner at the same time each evening, it starts to send cues to our body to stabilize our hunger cues. So then we start to get those cues ahead of time when our body knows that, hey, it's getting close to that time where we normally eat. Similarly, routines in our sleeping pattern help manage our circadian rhythm as well. So, by adhering to the same bedtime, same wake time every day, our body starts to understand when and how much energy it needs to be metabolizing. That also influences our hunger cues. This is all important in terms of energy management. Yes, that energy that you need in order to be your most productive, most fulfilled self is largely driven by that circadian rhythm. And so the more routine we incorporate into the day, the more our body is aware of the demands at hand and how to respond to those demands. When we're on top of our routines, life feels easier to handle. And this sense of manageability allows us to cope with unpredictable changes that happen throughout the day, throughout our week, throughout our lives. They help us cope with a multitude of experiences, including changes, stress, and mental health in a positive way. As I was doing some preparation for this week's episode, I came across a study published by the National Center for Biotechnology Information. This study found that good daily habits during early stages of life, so our kiddos, our nieces, our nephews, our neighbors, these early stage of life habits set us up for success later in life. On the flip side, research found that poor daily habits of modern society lead to behaviors such as quitting jobs, dropping out of school, limited exercise, and sleep. So, by shifting our focus into creating regular rhythms and routines as much as we possibly can, we're actually doing so much good for ourselves, not only mentally, emotionally, and physically, but also professionally and psychosocially. So, how do we begin to create routines? Well, if you're someone who is working remotely most or all of the time, I want you to understand that routines are an important part of what tells your body, hey, it's time for this. So, creating a specific routine that you follow before you crack open your laptop and get to work each day is going to help prepare your brain, your body to begin working, to shed the responsibilities of home life and turn your attention towards your professional life. So create that separation. Find those daily patterns of things that you normally start your day with, whether it's filling up a glass of water, putting some music on to help calm yourself down, cracking open the laptop, checking the email first thing in the morning, maybe checking Microsoft Teams to see if there's any active chats with your team, saying hello to coworkers. All of those things can be an important part of a morning routine that helps set your day up for success. Even before then, having a morning routine as soon as you wake up can be one of the most beneficial ways of establishing your baseline of stress for the day. If you open your eyes and the first thing you see is chaos from a messy bedroom, and the first thing you hear is chaos from the house around you, and the first thing you feel is chaos, then that is going to translate into how you tolerate stress for the rest of the day. So, not only keeping that alarm clock at the same time every day, but setting that morning routine to be consistent. Drink a glass of water. That's the second time I'm saying drink a glass of water. Drink a glass of water. Maybe do a quick meditation, some deep breathing, stretch your body, maybe even getting in some physical activity first thing in the morning. Within the first 30 minutes, heading outside and taking in some light through those early morning hours and helping initiate that circadian rhythm. All of those things can be an incredibly beneficial way of starting the day. You'll be astounded to find that by being consistent in a morning routine, even in as little as 1 week, can help shift your experience of stress and how you're able to handle the things that your day throws at you in terms of sporadic commands, unforeseen circumstances, that rush hour traffic. Your tolerance to stress will be much higher as a result of that morning routine. Now, on the flip side of things, routine is just as important in our afternoons and evenings. As we begin to wind down from work, we have the same set standard of routines that we follow to initiate that it's time to be done. This is a great thing, again, for anyone who's working remotely, because we need to create that separation between work and the rest of our evenings so that we're not more compelled to just keep working or to check back in with the laptop. Create that boundary through the use of a shutdown routine. And then as you're moving through the last part of your day, that wind down hour, I call it my power down hour. Routine is especially beneficial in this part of your day as well, as it's cueing to your brain and your body that we're anticipating sleep and it's time to calm down and anticipate the night of sleep ahead. I like reserving that last hour to be free of technology, aside from my blue light shade blocking e-reader. I do a little reading before bedtime and follow the same routine of habits as I'm winding down. So, to wrap us all up here, routine can be one of the most beneficial ways to begin to increase your tolerance to stress. Start with tiny steps, even if it's a 5-minute routine as you open your eyes and start your day, or a 5-minute workday startup routine, 5-minute shutdown routine, 5-minute bedtime routine. Build from there. The more consistent you can be with your routine, the more your body, the more your brain will respond. My encouragement to you today is to really ask yourself, what would be the best way for me to start my day? What would allow me to feel like myself? What would allow me to feel the feelings of success or of completion that I need from my day? And start to integrate those aspects into your routines. When we find ourselves moving through actions that really fill us up, the more we're going to feel prepared for the day. So drop a comment on this video. Let me know something you'll be incorporating into your morning or startup routine to help you feel your best for the day. And make sure you check back next week for our next episode of Engineer Your Energy. Once again, I'm Caroline Milton, owner of Milton Coaching Collective, where we help individuals and organizations implement preventative maintenance techniques for keeping burnout at bay, increasing your tolerance to stress, your productivity, and your overall fulfillment. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.